Algebra 2, Section 1-5, Solving Inequalities. We're going to talk about the addition property of inequality. And we're not going to end up using these. I have since stopped using these, but we're going to write down some formulas here. So if A is greater than B, then A plus C is greater than B plus C. If A is less than B, then A plus C is less than B plus C. Let's do the subtraction property as well, and then we'll talk about them both at the same time. The subtraction property says if A is greater than B, then A minus C is greater than B minus C. Likewise, if A is less than B, then A minus C is less than B minus C. So all of these two things are saying, all of this time that we've used writing this down, is all it is saying is what you do to one side of the inequality, you must also do to the other side. Whatever you do to one side of the inequality, minus C, you must also do to the other side. That's all that we're saying here. So usually we say what you do to one side of the equal sign, you must also do to the other side of the equal sign. We're just substituting equal sign for inequality, and that's it. So that's what this is saying here. Let's do an example. Y minus 6 is less than 3. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to treat this like an equal sign. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Y is greater than 9. Now, I'm sorry, less than. I said greater than, but it's less than. Now, we're going to graph this as well. I'm not concerned with you going 0 and then going 9 times. I don't really care. Give me 0 and then find 9. 9 is going to be right over here somewhere. And then label it 9. Okay. Now, I did an open circle here at 9 because 9 is not included in this solution set of y. Y is less than 9, but not including 9. So, and y is less than 9, so that means I draw an arrow going to the left, showing less than 9. All right, let's have you guys do one. 5x minus 3 is greater than 4x plus 2. So go ahead and solve this as you normally would an equation, even though this is an inequality, and then graph it based on how we just graphed this. Pause and go. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. If you subtracted 5x from both sides, then you might have an issue and you might need to multiply by -1 and switch your inequality, but we haven't done that yet. We will be doing that on the other side of this. So subtract 4x from both sides. I'm going to also add 3 to both sides. The 4x's are gone, the 3's are gone. I end up with 5x's minus 4x's, which will give me 1x, is greater than 2 plus 3, which is 5. Now let's graph this thing. Here's 0. Here's 5. I'm going to do an open circle because, again, it's not or equals to. X is greater than 5, so that means I'm going to shade to the right and draw an arrow. Every number, any number I plug in that's greater than 5 will make this inequality true. That's why I draw this arrow and I fill it in like this, because every number greater than 5 fits in this inequality. Likewise up here, any number that's less than 9, notice not including 9, because if I plug 9 in here, this would not be true. 9 is not less than 9. But any number that is less than 9 will make this inequality true. Negative 10, I could put that in there. That's true. 0, that's true. So that's what's happening here with these inequalities. Now, let's go to the next side. And now we are looking at multiplication and division in inequalities. Solve an inequality as you would normally solve an equation. An equation has an equal sign in it. If you multiply or divide a negative number, you must flip the inequality. So for instance, if I have negative 5x is less than 10, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. And then, since I divided by a negative number, I have to flip the inequality. So I say, I'm just doing this kind of keep going deal. X is greater than negative 2. So I flipped my sign here to say x is greater than negative 2. Now, I want to do another example here. Come over here and look at this one. If I've got 2x is greater than or equal to negative 20, I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself. And then I have x is something, negative 2 minus, negative 20 minus, divided by 2 is negative 10. Now, I've got to decide, what am I going to do with this inequality? Do I leave it here as greater than or equal, or do I flip it? Because here's a negative right here. Here's how you know. Did you divide or multiply by a negative number? I did not. I divided or multiplied by a positive number. If it's positive, then I'm going to keep the inequality the way it was. If this is negative, then I flip it. Just like up here, I divided by negative 5, so I flipped it. I did not divide by a negative number. Even though this is negative, I divided by a positive number. I keep my inequality the same way. So we're going to just jump right into some u-tries. And also make sure that you graph this. So I've got negative 4x is greater than or equal to negative 24. And I've got, let's see here. Oh, negative 4, c is less than or equal to 5c plus 58 over 6. Okay, we got some tricky ones here. So let's go ahead and pause and see what you can do, and then we'll work on them together when we come back. Go ahead and pause now. All right, let's see how you did. I'm going to divide this one by negative 4, negative 4. I divided by a negative number. That means I know I'm going to need to flip this from greater than or equals to less than or equals to. Negative 4 divided by negative 4, positive 1, so I have positive 1x. Negative 24 divided by negative 4 is going to get me a positive 6. So there's my answer. But I've also, remember, I told you to graph it. So we should graph it as well. Here's 0. Here's 6. This is or equals to, so that means I have a solid circle here at 6, because 6 is included. If I plug in 6 for x, this is true. 6 is less than or equal to 6. So less than or equal to, draw my arrow to the left. Now let's look at this one. This one looks kind of like a mess. Let's see how you did. I want to get c by itself. I'm not going to divide by negative 4 yet. I could, but I don't totally feel like it. I want to get this 6 out of here first. This 6 is bugging me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by 6, and I'm going to multiply this by 6. I want to get the 6 out of here. So when I do that, these 6's go away, and this 6 multiplies by this negative 4c, no problem. Negative 24c is less than or equal to. Notice I did not multiply by a negative number, therefore I keep this as less than or equal to. And now that since the 6 is gone, I've got 5c plus 58, and I feel much better about that. I'm going to subtract 5c from both sides. And so I'm going to end up with negative 29c is less than or equal to 58. And then I just divide both sides by negative 29 to get c by itself. And then end up with c is greater than or equal to, look, I divided by a negative number, I've got to flip it. 58 divided by negative 29 is negative 2. So I draw my graph. I put 0 right here. I put negative 2 right here, or equals to, so I'm going to have a negative, a solid circle there. C is greater than that, arrow to the right. And, like it or not, that is all I have for you on this bit of review here that is lesson 1-5. Do a good job on your homework.